Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish, Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. The time is 6 p.m. and I call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No TV? You're not going to wait for the TV?
Seeing that we do have a quorum this evening, we will now review the minutes of the May 25th, 2021 meeting. Any board discussion?
Mr. Chair, you have one little...
Turn your mic on.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, one of them, I'm going to just say probably a typo error, and you probably inadvertent didn't call who made the motion and who seconded it. But on the first page, for the motion to approve the minutes of last month, you see where the motion was made by me and seconded by me? Best my ears could pick up the voice. I actually think it was Miss Marilyn Jackson that made the second.
Okay.
So just that correction, because technically you can't make a motion and second it also.
All right. Well, we can certainly change that. Any other board discussion? All right. Seeing none, I will make a motion that we move to approve the minutes with the changes noted by Commissioner Woods. Do I have a second?
Second motion.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Next agenda item is a review of the low rent and HCVP financials.
We email, we have a new protocol. We are now emailing them because we are a lot more efficient in their current. So we emailed them to each board member so that you guys can have a ample amount of time to digest. So at this point, I ask if anyone have any questions about what you've read as it relates to low rent and HCV financials. Any questions?
No, I've been pleased with the report. Any other commissioners?
No
I
questions.
reviewed it. I didn't have no questions. No, ma'am.
It's a miracle. We've come a long way as a board. Reports look good, and we're good to go. So
Everything added up this month.
Awesome. So with that being said, we got a positive letter from HUD congratulating us because we now have 3.5 months of reserves.
Okay.
With that being said, our current account balance for HCV is $283,344, and in low rent,
I'm gonna cut your microphone.
our low rent balance is $142,815. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but that's a big deal for us, coming from where we've come from. The UMP is a positive $74,471. Our MENAR at this time is 1.69. We have conquered. We have overcome all of the objectives and goals that HUD set in place for us.
And we received a letter.
We received the letter. I emailed it to all of you guys.
Yeah, I did. I was gonna.
With smiley faces.
Yes.
with smiley faces. So at this point, Brandy is not here, so I'll give Brandy's report as it relates to low rent and HCV. Brandy got caught up in the traffic, and I'm not usually prepared to do her portion of the report, but guess what? I will today. Currently, we have a total of 171 units leased. We have a total of 58 units that are vacant. Of course, our vacant units are going to continue to be vacant until we complete the conversion and do the renovations. It makes no sense to try and prepare a unit. We are working on, well, I'll let Charles include that in his report. As it relates to our HCV program, we have two individuals that are holding vouchers that are searching. We have a port-in that we just leased up. We are leasing up again. We're starting with our port-ins. At one particular point, we had 14 port-ins. We are very popular. Everybody's trying to come to St. Charles right now. So instead of issuing new vouchers, we are absorbing the port-in. The importance of that is that a port-in, we don't make any money from that. So if we absorb them into our numbers, then we'll get paid for that particular unit. So we are porting in. We are absorbing our port-ins. As of this date, our payments for the month of May was $180,847. That's how much we paid out to landlords. The process of recruiting new landlords, we are going to put together a seminar, a work fair, to educate landlords on the positiveness of participating with us. You guys have done an excellent job in helping us increase our rent payments so that we are paying market rent. As a result of that, we are also excited to talk about what Debbie is doing for us, and we have a mobile app. The not sure what the staff has to do with that. I'm not into the day-to-day operation, but what I see as an opportunity for us is to encourage more landlords to participate because it's real time. And oftentimes the problems that we have is the negative or the misunderstanding of what a Section 8 voucher holder would do to their property. It gives us real time to address problems. If the community have a problem, they literally can snapshot, upload. I don't have to investigate. I have tangible proof so that we could address that matter in real time. So that's what I like about it. But Debbie, you don't have to talk about that. That's not why you're here. So that's it for low rent and HCV. Charles, you want to give a report on maintenance?
Maintenance. Okay, we are about to put one truck in the shop, so we're gonna be down to one vehicle. Second, we're in the process of transferring one of the residents in Hornville. It's in place transfer. We're not moving from one site to another site. It's just been deemed that his apartment, he needs to be moved. So we're gonna transfer him in the next couple of days. These are two things, I may be wrong for saying it, but I have to say it. The definition of a maintenance man has got completely lost in the complex. The residents think we are dog catchers, you know what I'm saying, and we snake killers. If there's a snake in their house, they want to come and call us to kill a snake or get a dog. I looked up the definition of maintenance. I did not find that anywhere in the definition. If I'm wrong, that's why I'm speaking it now, so the board could address it and tell me I'm wrong or give me some advice. I mean, I am not the one to run in the house and kill a snake because there's a snake in your house. I'm not immune to snake bites, just like you're not immune to snake bites. So why is it my job to kill a snake? And I just need clarification on that.
Well, I think that,
I'll give clarification on that. You are a maintenance supervisor. You're not just a maintenance man. You're a maintenance supervisor. Your role and responsibility is to deal with issues as it relates to the units that our tenants live in. If there's a dog issue, if there's a snake issue, be it a resident of St. Charles Parish Housing Authority or Luland or Destrehan, whatever process is necessary, you call the sheriff department, you call the alligator man.
Animal control.
Animal control. That is not your responsibility. I do not expect that of you.
Thank you.
I do not expect that of you. So with that being said, you are a maintenance supervisor. You are not animal control. Even though I might call you personally if I have a snake. You're not animal control.
Right. Yes, ma'am. That is all I have. Thank y'all so much.
And
Transparency is key.
Yes.
Always speak your mind.
And Mr. Charles, I know from previous conversations we had, I'm gonna just say this to you, that I appreciate your openness and straightforward
Yes, sir.
talking on issues.
Yes,
That's
sir.
how we correct things
Correct.
and
Yes,
get them
sir.
taken care of. So I really appreciate you bringing that to us.
Thank you, sir.
and Ms. Hollis, you may want to potentially, and this will be your decision solely to make, but you may potentially want to print up a list of useful phone numbers for residents, animal control, poison control, whatnot, and make it available to residents so they have that.
That's an excellent idea. Brandy, did you hear that?
Good.
Yeah, they call me or they call Charles. Every tenant, be it even our HCB clients, they all have my personal cell phone number. But that's a good idea.
A lot of times it's just a matter of they don't know who else to call, so,
Right.
you know, if we supply them the resources and even give people potentially, hey, call this in these potential circumstances or whatever, however y'all decide to do that, but.
No, I think that's
Just
an
a thought.
excellent idea. And Brandy, also have Debbie have them put it on our website as well. Okay? So at this point, I'm going to move into presentation. As it relates to the state of the agency, we are still in a holding pattern. We have satisfied every requirement. We have submitted all applications. We've started our tax credit application. I signed an engagement letter with the lender for the funding for our conversion. So we're just waiting for her to say, okay, move forward. They've been very helpful in helping us with the process. Our application is currently in the field office. The field office is reviewing it for weaknesses. And whatever weakness they find, then they're going to give us technical assistance to shore up that weakness. Our agency is the first. We're not the only, but we're further along in the United States of America of any other agency with a voluntary streamlined conversion process. So at this point, I've moved out of that arena as we wait. So we start focusing on how we operate and how we shape our vision as a nonprofit organization. Family self-sufficiency is going to be a very key component as it relates to how we move forward. And because we will have the resources to fund it and also to use as seed money, I'm working with 2 consultants, and what we're focusing on is programs for the youth. If we're going to break generational cycles, if we are going to foster an environment so that we can create generational wealth, we have to prepare for that. So at this particular time, I'm going to invite Mr. Rafiki Kai from San Francisco and Ms. Debbie Stack from they're going to come separately, and they're both doing different things as it relates to the plan that we're putting in place for the kids. But each one of them are going to talk to you about the vision that we have as it relates to how we move forward with our programs.
I'd like to say good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
It's my pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank Director Hollis for this opportunity to serve. I'd like to take a minute and give you an idea of my background.
Excuse me, is the green light on?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So I've spent the last 20 years in technology, and before technology, I was in ministry and social work, doing child abuse investigation, residential treatment centers for youth. So I have worked with young people from the rough side of the spectrum to the high school to the college campus. And my passion is technology and leveraging technology to empower our communities and families. I've worked with the likes of Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Tavis Smiley Group, and the Tavis Smiley Foundation. So that's just a little bit of a snapshot as to who's standing before you. In reference to the digital clubhouse and digital camp that we're working with Director Hollis to put together and package, the objectives are to encourage, expose, and empower young people. If we want them to go forward, we have to address those 3 things. They have to be exposed so that they can know what is possible. They have to be encouraged in terms of their capacity to step into what they see is possible. And then they have to be empowered. They have to be given the resources and the tools and so forth. So at this point, I'd like to share with you a few of the pillars of the digital clubhouse and the digital camp. The clubhouse will operate mostly as an after-school element throughout the academic year, and the camp will be a summer experience. And the major pillars of the two will be, number one, and I will admit to you in transparency that there is a bias here, but the initial strata will be chess. I have found chess to be one of the lowest cost resources for opening young people up. It teaches patience, focus, discipline, strategy, parallel thinking, and rapid response. And if you look at STEM careers, science, technology, engineering, and math, each of those strengths will serve you as a STEM professional. After chess, there comes crypto, or cryptographic currency. Why crypto? Because the world is changing. And when we talk about financial literacy, the financial literacy of tomorrow, or really today, that is facing us, it's rapid and it's global. We do not want our young people to be illiterate in a crypto age. We do not ever want them to be in any environment where people are talking of Bitcoin and Ethereum and so forth, and they be outside of the conversation. That will put them at a gross disadvantage. So we definitely want to expose them to crypto, not only just theoretically, but in time pull them into mining at their level, right? They won't be mining Bitcoin, but they can mine some other altcoins so that they can grasp how it all works. After crypto, there will be data science. Why data science? Because modern society runs on data. Try to run any of your agencies without data, and we'll see how that goes, how well that is. Also, data science, because Director Hollis spoke about breaking generational cycles, right? If you are trained in data science at an entry level, even if you're a junior person at an entry level, you're talking $69,000, $70,000 a year. If you are indeed a data scientist, you're talking 100, 150. And if you can really, really hold your weight in the data science space, then you're speaking upward of $200,000, right? We want our young people to be exposed to that, to know that that exists, to understand what it takes to walk into that space. And ironically, we will never encourage them not to go to college. Not ever will we ever do that. But data science can be a career track where it's not mandated that you have a college degree, but that you actually be able to stand in the space and fulfill the role of a data scientist. Along with data science, and I believe my colleague, Ms. Stack, will speak to this, virtual reality and extended reality, right? Because that's another aspect of technology that may be engaging to them, right? It might, it's close to video games, and it will indeed be a space that permeates almost every sector of modern life. And again, my colleague, Ms. Stack, will speak to that. Lastly, will be what I call the STEM circle, right? Put them in touch with and put them in the presence of people who are STEM professionals, who look like them, who are from this region, who are from this area. That makes it real. Trust me, I have worked with young people in Silicon Valley, in San Francisco. They live in San Francisco. Their families have been there for generations. But they walk by the Twitter headquarters just like somebody that just flew in from China, right? Because they have no special bridge or passport in. But once I get them in, once I take them to Microsoft, once I take them to Google, everything that we've talked about in the classroom, everything that I've encouraged them about, takes on a whole nother dimension of reality because they actually get to meet someone who's at Google who embraces them, right? They're not there like on display. They're there to be engaged as possibly future colleagues. So that gives you like an overview of the vision that we're crafting for the digital clubhouse and the digital camp. Are there any questions at this point?
I'm gonna stand up, scream, and applaud.
Scream, a change is coming. I'm sorry.
I'm sitting here absorbing like a sponge. I want to say, man, I need some of that stuff myself. However this works into what our mission and goal is, and I think you guys know we're all on the same page, and I've been more outward in what I'm hoping for this agency and the community as a whole. And I'm going to go to my theme that I've always go to. Like, what you're telling me, I'm excited. I want to start yesterday. But I always want to reach out, Ms. Hollis, and I think what I'm hearing from you, as we grow, as we get more streamlined, we're going to branch out more into the community.
Absolutely. That is what you're hearing.
And if that's what I'm hearing today, yes, then personally in my community, like, we need you. And I'm not ashamed to say we need you. So if we can begin this in this agency and spread out throughout the parish, and you know, we're kind of ahead of the game in streamline conversion. We may be ahead of the game in the state and whatever.
Well, let me say this. Debbie took me to Miami. I went to a conference. I met him at that conference.
Okay.
And the fact that I was able to convince him to come here blew my mind. But what I learned at that conference is that this technical generation, it's not just about making money. It's making money with a purpose. Mm-hmm. And they engage in giving back. So he's not charging us anything to build this model. Wait. He's not charging us anything to build this model. But once this model is built, we will have ownership in it too, right?
For sure.
Okay. Once the model is built, it's his. And he can duplicate it wherever he wants to. In addition to that, what he's sharing with us is things that's happening across the country. We are 20 years behind the rest of the world. When I was in Miami, there was a community called Wynwood. And Wynwood was minting, I got to get the technology right, were minting NFTs. And the NFTs had crypto attached to it. I can't see Debbie.
Explain NFTs, just...
Shake your head, because I can't see.
Non-fungible tokens.
That's right, Debbie?
Non-fungible tokens, okay.
Right, that's what NFTs
So they were
stand for.
minting the tokens. And what I saw in that is that one of the problems we have is that our money do not recycle in our community. It recycles out. So with the currency that they were minting and mining, I hope I'm using the right terminology. I can't see you, Debbie. You have to be like extreme in your movements. But with those tokens, they were using that as their currency, which meant the money is not only recycling in the community, even if it goes out of the community still benefits from it. And as a result, they created a gourmet district. They created an art district. They were revitalizing communities. So the possibilities, y'all know I think big. The possibilities are endless. But again, we're going to start small.
Well, amen.
And we're going to start with the kids. Mm-hmm. All right.
Really, thank you
No
for
more
that presentation. We look
My
forward
pleasure,
to
my
working
pleasure.
more with you.
If there's no questions, I will turn the mic over to my colleague, Ms. Debbie Stack.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was his name? Rafiki Kai.
Hello, nice to see you all again.
Hi, ma'am.
Hey, Debbie.
Hi. Well, thank you for inviting me. And I was here about a year ago to speak about a program I was part of that was creating hackathons with kids. And that discussion has led us to today. And I'm very privileged and proud that Rafiki's joined the community to put this program together. and his experience really in this community development program. So my experience is in technology. I retired from IBM as an artificial intelligence consultant. But New Orleans is my home, and I had to leave to pursue my career outside of the state. And so it's my passion to really bring this technology for education, for healthcare, for generational wealth, for the purpose of helping our kids grow and thrive and be able to stay in our state and in our community and not have the brain drain of our smartest children leaving and the repercussions of our underserved populations not getting the education and the access to these new technologies that they deserve. So I have a global network. I'm engaged in so many things right now that I would love to bring into St. Charles Parish and grow. I love the enthusiasm about growing throughout the parish, throughout the state, of Ms. Hollis having the first in the United States to privatize public housing and bring these community centers to bear. Now, I've been working with many academics who are doing the leading research in artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and blockchain. Those three technologies put together are really the future of, currently being used in places like Silicon Valley and Miami and New York City, maybe not as much in Louisiana. But it's the future of our workforce. For our kids to have jobs in the future, they're going to need these technologies. And it's the future of even mental health care. This morning I was on a call with Dr. Julia Mossbridge. She developed the artificial intelligence for a robot called Sophia. And Sophia is trained to provide unconditional love. As a robot or as a virtual being inside of a game, when a child speaks to her, she provides non-judgment, unconditional love and support. And the research indicates that this motivates all of us, children and adults too, to do our best. That if we have that safety of being loved and cared for, then we can go out into the world and be our best. And what she's working on and what I'm working on with a team that's developing a game is to be able to provide this sort of interaction with a virtual robot to address our children's mental wellness, to prevent addictions, to prevent incarcerations, and to make the game fun and engaging at the same time. So we were the finalists in a hackathon last week, and we developed a game that we're showing to a producer tomorrow, which again is designed for kids to contribute. It'll be a game designed for and by kids, and a game that has like a local setting, local culture, like jazz and Zydeco music, for instance. And the game is designed to help them get in the zone or in the pocket, as they say in jazz, right? And teach them like self-regulation, like how to stay strong in times of adversity. If the storm's blowing around or you're triggered by, I'm still triggered by helicopters flying over since Katrina, right? I'm still triggered when the news is telling us to evacuate. And even kids who weren't born then, they experience this anxiety from their parents. So there's many, many ways to build in the best in mental health care and education with gaming, robots and artificial intelligence, and blockchain and crypto. So I'm thrilled to be part of developing this program for public housing. We're seeing innovation centers go up in New Orleans East and on the river, and these are public-private partnerships. So I met, who's the young man I met Sunday, the NFL player? LaRon is doing so many things in the community. So it's my vision that we bring together Rafiki's program, LaRon's program, bring some private sponsorships in, as Leatrice has suggested, from Shell and others, and create these STEAM programs, science, technology, education, art, and math programs for our children and for our future generation. And yeah, I think, are there any questions? Anything I can address?
Any board members have any questions?
Wow, you know me, I'm full of comments. Still want to jump, scream.
Rodney's jumping out of his skin.
I really am, because first thing I wanted to say, God does answer prayers in ways that, and Ms. Hollis, you know, we kind of had that little connection. You say, stay out of the way and let him do his things and stuff. But so you like to answer the prayers and stuff. And your theory you're talking about, I would say, even though she wasn't virtual and she wasn't a robot, but you described a lot of my mother and what she nurtured in me and gave me the security that I could at least venture halfway around the world and just know I could do whatever because I had that love and home to go back to.
Right.
So, boy, if you could put, I say my mother, I'm being selfish, but our mothers into some type that kids get nurturing and encouragement,
Yes.
I know for a fact because I was blessed to have that, and that gave me the courage to take the risk and chances and adventures that I've lived. So
Absolutely, yes. And certainly our robot would not replace a mom, but I think our moms can use a little help sometimes.
yeah,
And
absolutely, absolutely. I know you said he's going to put his program together. So what are our I'm always saying, what's our next steps? How do we
Our next step
learn
will be,
more, officialize things?
Our next step will be implementation, but we can't get to implementation until we finish, until we do the transition. When we do the transition, we have negotiated to get a percentage of our development funding up front. So what we've done in order to expedite this, and because we don't need to start from scratch, we have partnered with We Made, LaRon Bird. LaRon has 2 locations. He has a location in Hornville. He has a location in Mimosa. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Mimosa.
He actually bought that dance studio, both buildings across from Smoothie King. And he has also, because I've made it a point to share with him your passion, which is the East Bank. He has, he's working with both high schools. He has made arrangements with the Destrehan High School. We were trying to do a summer program, but it was just it was too much to do in the short amount of time we had. But the Destrehan, the high schools actually have a STEM program in both schools. So Destrehan High School has agreed to allow him to use their STEM lab to serve your kids. We got you a location.
Yeah. All right.
We got your location. So to bring it all together, what I thought, and you brought God up when you guys interviewed me. I'm like, if y'all hire me, y'all got to know I'm bringing Jesus with me.
And we
Said that in there.
we
Didn't I
did,
say
yeah.
that in the interview? I did. Yes, I know that's right. Can't move without him. So to bring it all together, we doing a great job with the brick and mortar, but we got to be a little bit more comprehensive than that. So, and if we're going to be comprehensive, we have to acknowledge, one, with the social and economic problems that our kids and our families have dealt with, there are mental issues. There are mental issues. So what we need to start with is helping them to become mentally stable. We start with the kids, and what we're doing for the kids can be done for the parents, but that's where LaRon comes in. We have different target populations, and sometimes they're going to cross. But we have to be comprehensive, and we need to deal with the mental welfare of the kids, and we need to help our kids learn to believe in themselves. Our children are technological wizards. That's their reality. I have to call my 5-year-old to help me when something's going on with my phone. So it's normal for them. So with that normality, instead of playing Roblox, we're going to create programs for them and show them how to program their own. And the beauty of it is that it's not even much rocket science. It's just literally making a decision that this is what we want to focus on.
I'd like to just say a few things as well. So, I believe that I've now been on this board about 6 years, maybe a little longer than that. And to see where this agency has come from in those 6 years, I know, Commissioner Woods was here and Commissioner Bailey, and a lot of the other board members have changed. We've gotten a new executive director. But we have literally come from being a troubled agency with, units that were just horrible, for lack of a better word. And we've been able to do so much for the residents already. We have a vision that's coming together for the future. And then I think back to the trip that Ms. Bellick and Ms. Hollis and I went on to D.C. to just pitch this idea of, hey, little old St. Charles Parish has this idea to do something special. And here we are, and now we're talking about all this technology and doing stuff for kids. And I have a background in youth ministry for over 20 years, and to see all of the different skill sets of the board members and the employees of the agency, and both of you who presented this evening, just come together to bring forth a vision of what public housing and the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish can really become as a agency for the betterment of the community as a whole. I think it's really exciting, and I'd like to just thank everybody in this room for all of your hard work over the many years, and even both of you who have presented. Y'all have gone through your own story to get here today, and so I thank you for that. That you've dug in the trenches for years to be able to come here and present this evening. So. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You certainly have done an amazing job to be privatizing public housing as the first in the country.
It has been a process.
We're not going to be the first, and I need to be clear about that. There are other agencies. I don't know. No, RAD is not privatizing.
No, Rat.
Brad
Oh,
is
we might be, unless somebody pass us up. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to my staff. I do it every board meeting. Y'all know I work remote. I work from home. When I say that this staff has stepped up, oh my God. Yesterday, touching thing. Yesterday we shut the office down. We had a tenant. We have a rapport with our tenants now. We have a tenant that called me to tell me that her husband passed. He used to work for them. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, ma'am. She called me. I was the first person she called, and I'm like, she had called me previously to tell me that he was going to hospice. So when she called to tell me he had expired, I was saying, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Did you get a chance to say goodbye? And she said, well, he's in a room. I'm like, excuse me? She's like, he's in the room. I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to call you right back. So I called the office and had the staff to go down there to help her, because clearly she was in shock, to help her through that process. And I gave them some time. I called her back, and I'm, inquiring, how you doing? I'm fine. She said all he wanted was to be, he just wanted his ashes scattered in a river, and that's illegal. Yesterday, the staff brought her, met me in New Orleans. We met with a pastor, Preston Jones, FBI agent, because it is illegal. He's an FBI agent, but also a minister, Preston Jones, City of Refuge. Met her on the on Algiers Ferry, and she got to scatter his ashes on the river. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. But that's a big thing to me. But they go way out of their way. They go way out of their way. Brandy, boy, I know, Brandy, you get tired of me, but I really appreciate you. So I just wanted to say thank you guys again. And Chris, I think Chris cried.
He worked for the agency.
I didn't know that.
Mr. Richardson worked for the agency over 20 years.
I didn't
I
know.
came here with him. I came and found Mr. Leroy here. And me and him worked together for maybe 10 to 15 years. Yes, that's why it was no problem for us for
I
his
didn't know
maintenance,
that.
you know what I'm saying? Because he was Leroy, you know what I'm saying? He was Mr. Leroy. And that's why it was no problem for us whatsoever yesterday, to accommodate her and make sure his wishes was carried out, because we worked together for 15 years, and he always said he wanted to be cremated, and once he was cremated, sprinkled on the Mississippi River. So, I was glad, and honored to be a part of that, because I know that was his wishes being carried out, because we worked together for like 15 years, and that was, his wish to be cremated and be spread out, because he loved fishing. On the Mississippi River, he loved fishing, so he said that's where he wanted to be. So it was our honor, to help her carry out his last wishes.
Well, I thank you guys again. And that is all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I'm sorry I missed the first part of your presentation, but I'm sure it was exciting because the last part of it is very interesting. And I look forward
No.
to
Fine.
a really great STEM program here in St. Charles Parish.
For the younger.
Because we believe in our motto, the motto that St. Charles Parish has, that we are the parish of plenty. And being the parish of plenty, we cannot forget about our underserved, being the parish of plenty. So that's my endeavor, to make sure that the underserved are a part, is a part of it.
And just, if I may, just for clarity, so you know who we're speaking, Ms. Bellick is our ex officio officer that sits on this board. She's actually the chairperson of the parish council at this time, if I'm correct. So she actually is an elected official that represents the parish on our board. Just want that clarity. I mean, I'm just trying to be quiet. I'm so excited that, boy, it's just, but things come in his time, so I'm gonna just be quiet.
It's been a long journey.
It has. To echo everything that Webb just said, it has been a long journey to get to this point.
Because I came in the midst of everything was on fire. But I'll say the commission at that time, Webb, you remember we had those executive sessions and we said we're going to commit ourselves to this, and nobody gets to get off the board until we right this ship and whatever. And of course, we appreciate our new members coming on, but it has been a journey, but well worth it.
So, thank y'all again.
Thank you all so much, and I know Ms. Hollis is going to keep engaged with you all, and I'm proud of the get out of my line sometimes. I'm a hands-on, want to be involved in everything, all the details, so I'm sure I'll be bugging her a lot and might be calling you sometimes myself.
You need to call Mr. Kai, because he blew my mind when he said.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. To have some contact
Tell you what blew
information
my
for
mind.
him.
To mine a coin takes energy, so anybody can't mine. And he's like, you guys have all these plants. You literally can capture the emission from the plants.
Like the flare, there's technology that's being developed to tap into the off energy, right?
Okay.
To capture it so that it's not just
The plant does reflect
You want to
something.
come up to the podium and kind of just
Great. That's-
tell us a little bit
That's why
about
I wanted
that.
more questions, because I don't know what he's talking
I
about.
won't
and
go
I want to
into
know everything.
to deep detail about this, but for sure, right now in the world of cryptographic currency, there is a fierce debate about how green mining is, and there's a sensitivity to like what kind of energy mining absorbs. So people are looking for different solutions and approaches to solving this problem of mining cryptographic currency being a very energy intense piece. One of the slices of the variety of solutions are looking at plants that have flares and that have all of these processes where they throw off energy, right? Why not capture that energy? Let the plant do what it needs to do to be the plant. But before it goes out, before it's just wasted, capture it, recycle it, and mine. And so they're actually mining operations that are being set up at plants on site, right? And so now the plants have another kind of revenue stream, right? Because if you have enough energy where you can mine Bitcoin, like even in like a bear market cycle a bear cycle that we're in now, Bitcoin is still $34,000 or so a coin, right? So if this is energy that you were already creating, already part of the process, and you get a shot at like maybe getting some Bitcoins out of it, to just recycle this energy, then it's a proposition that
Both at Noma, you could come start in my yard. I've got a number of plants.
Charles has bought him.
Okay, so
Charles
really
took it.
great
Yeah,
with this.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
I don't know anything either.
Ms. Bell, if you wanna,
I'm really
Don't turn
great
your
at
mic,
this, so I need you to explain something, what you said. You said mining. What
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
mean mining?
Okay, all right, I'm glad to address that. So, cryptographic currency, right, is a digital form of currency, right? A digital measure of value. How do we get coins? How do we bring Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin into existence, right? There's a process where machines solve, and that's why it's called cryptographic, because it's encrypted, right? So there's a process where these puzzles have to be solved. And the first operators to solve the puzzle, right, every 10 minutes or whatever the cycle is, they actually seize the pot. They actually unlock the coins, and the coins are theirs for having. And it's part of a process, right? Those machines also maintain the entire accounting system that makes Bitcoin a thing globally, right? So there's no double spending. If you get a Bitcoin, you can't spend it with her and him and him and him, right? So there's a whole process that makes it secure. You need like servers, you need like operations to make that happen. So to incentivize those who provide the hardware, who provide the system, they get to solve these puzzles and or problems and have shot at the bounty, we'll say. That process is called mining. So solving the problems so that you get a shot at the bounty for that particular period, that's called mining. And it's very intensive because it's a race, right? People all over the world are racing to solve the problem first, right? And so the more like it's become a real arms race. Back in the beginning, Bitcoin is only like 12 years old, right? It's not like an ancient thing. Back in the beginning, you could mine Bitcoin on a laptop in your house, right? Forget that. You're not gonna mine Bitcoin on a laptop in your house these days. You need actual data centers with all types of investment of sophisticated equipment, right? Because there's serious money involved. When Bitcoin first started at its birth, it was worth like fractions of pennies, right? But as the value has increased, just a quick story. When I was at the University of San Francisco, attached to the computer science department and a liaison to the School of Education, I would spend a week with my students breaking down every aspect of digital currency and Bitcoin. This was 2014. Bitcoin was $600 a coin now. So I often smile because I know I have students out there in the world who now that Bitcoin is $34,000 a coin, I know they look back and say like, man, that dude was telling us something that was so. But mining is that process of solving the problems and keeping the whole system solvent and intact. So, and we can talk about it again at some point. That's just
Mr.
a
Carr
brush
is going to
over.
be here until July 12th. We have him till July 12th. Contact me. I'll make sure you get in touch with him. He's actually using my office.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in the office.
Tuesday,
All right.
Wednesday, and Thursdays, until Charles get tired of picking them up.
What time he gets there?
What time do you get there?
I've been so blessed and so fortunate to have Mr. Charles pick me up some, however we can coordinate it, but generally 10 to 11 until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And if I know you're coming and you can't get there by 2 o'clock, believe me, I'll wait until at least 4:15 or so, and then around that time, Brandy and Charles
Promising my colleagues here,
they're gonna be pulling out the brass hooks. So
promising my colleagues a lunch date here, but I think you got one tomorrow if you have the time.
okay.
If you have the time.
Sounds like a plan. You play chess?
Well, I don't.
Okay,
I've been wanting to all my life and have just
Is that right?
So
We're
who
gonna have
knows
to
where
make
this
that
might
happen.
go?
And just quickly, I'd like to share with the board the vision that I have around chess is not only that the young people learn the game, right? Because it is a passport. You can go anywhere in the world, and even if you don't speak the language, just put out the board. You know, it's a universal language. But not only that, to give them that passport so that they can connect with STEM professionals who either do play or that they can teach a STEM professional to play. So imagine that if you're a young person who knows something that a mechanical or chemical engineer doesn't, and you get to teach them chess, then how does that really like feed into your sense of what's possible and what you can do?
Yeah.
All right, we said we were
Okay,
finished.
we
We really finished.
So at this time, and Brandy, Ms. Hollis went over your report for us. So at this time, we open up for public comment.
I'm just going to say this in Brandy's presence because you asked me to wait till she got here. A couple of things on our website. On our website, would change my email address. Right now, my email address is showing Webb's email address.
And email them all Bryce's information so that we can make sure that everyone's housing authority email address is updated. One thing I forgot to say, Mr. Kai, since he's been here, Mr. Kai has gotten, Brandy brings her daughter to work. The child volunteers. He actually got her into an intern position that paid her $10 an hour to do data input on our mobile app. I'm not sure what agency paid her, but thank you for that. He's also going to provide an opportunity for 3.
Well, at least one from St. Charles Parish. So if I can speak quickly, I know we're trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home.
One of the internships that I'm working on for high school students is to expose them to voice and AI and machine learning. So they will actually be interns to 2 different corporations that are active and engaged in each one of those fields, right? And the internship will pay $20 an hour, right? And so they will get to be immersed in the real life STEM. And because I remember when I was in high school and I made $5 an hour as a high school student back then, right? That was a mark of empowerment. So I'm more than happy to pay that experience forward and help another group of high school students like have that experience. So definitely at least one from St. Charles Parish for now. And as we expand
I'm shooting for 2.
and that might be possible.
Yeah.
That might be possible because she is the director, right? And as we expand the internship program, then I'm more than happy to advocate for more.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So
one more.
you
There I
got
go.
more? You got more?
This is so fun. I'm only putting this out in the because you asked me to say this.
Go ahead.
Again on the website, and my name. Could you put the J in there? And it's so minor. I wanted to do this off camera and everything, but I did happen to go to the website today and reviewed it, and especially the email address needed to be changed.
All right.
That's it.
You got to hurry up and end it.
Thing that you know that Brandy was about the seconding.
Oh, the motion thing? Do we just say that again?
In the minutes, he raised the,
Yeah, there's a correction to the minutes, Brandy.
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks, Mr.
Right,
Kai.
you were listening.
Yeah, but, do we need to repeat that for her?
I don't remember it.
Okay, and look where it was.
She got it. Okay.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Good deal. So, at this
done.
time, we'll now open for public comments. If there's anyone here to speak, you have a 3-minute time limit. And seeing none, do we have a board motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
We have a motion by Mr. Woods, second by Ms. Bellick. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all.
Aye. Thank you. Boy, that was